Hello friends, this video may be the last video of the 2019. Okay, so in this video I'm going to share a new project with you. So this one is basically a very simple quick sheet application. So it's built with Google Apps Script. So it's also a web application. So as you can see here on the right side of my screen is the web application. So we here have a header, and we have a input for the email address and a button to start the quiz. And if I try to input an email address here, let's call it test@gmail.com, and let's start the quiz. Okay, I got an error message like that. This email address test@gmail is already taken, so we need to pick another one. Let's try test one and start quiz. Okay, here I got 10 questions from this database. So in this database, on the left side here, you can see we have 20 questions in the database, and since we defined 10 questions, so for this quiz, and you're going to randomly select 10 questions from the database, and we also have a timer here. I set it 1 minute for this test purpose. So once the time is up, and you also once the time is up, the result will be submitted to the form to this spreadsheet. You also can click this end quiz button here to end the test, end the quiz. Okay, so now the time is up and the form is submitted. And since I didn't do any answers for this quiz, so I got a total score is 0, and the wrong items are highlighted in red. So all these items in red are the wrong answers. Okay, so basically, and we should get the result for this one. So as you can see here, test 1, total score is 0. So basically you can try. So one email address can only do the test for once. So if you try to do the test gmail.com, you're going to check this email address in this database, in this result sheet, and if the okay, so this should be Gmail. Let's end this. There is a typo there. As you can see, this test Gmail is wrong. So if you try to test at gmail.com and start the quiz, you should get this error message, just like we just got at the first try. Okay, and as you can see here, once you end the quiz, these options are not clickable, so it's basically disabled, so you cannot click it. So let's try to do a real test. So let's try to test 2, then start quiz, and I got 10 questions, 10 random questions here. As you can see, the questions are not in order. Basically they're random select from the database. So as you can see, this is the 19th questions from the database, and this is the 15th. So they're random, and you can try to do the answers for this quiz. Let's try. So basically, this questions answers just a demo. So I didn't put any real question and answers in the spreadsheet. You can do the modification here very easily in the database. All right, let's try to finish them. Since as you can see here, this time is almost up, and I didn't finish that questions. Okay. All right, I got a 40 as a score because I may answer something wrong here. So this one is wrong. So for each of these questions, you have an index for the question, and you have a point for this question as 10 is 10 point. The point is also defined in the database. Here is called score. So basically the same thing. It's 10, and if it's a multiple select question, so for this question we have multiple answers. We have M mark here, and for single select for single answer, the question there is ask here. So basically, for the single answer question, we only have one option to. So this is a radio, and for this one, this is the checkbox. So you can check the answers. All right. And since this quiz is just finished, and we should be able to have the result, and we have only collect the email address and the score, the total score, and you can add more. You can collect all these answers and questions for the user. But in this project, I don't want to focus on that part. I only collect the email address and the score, the final score. So the main stuff here is basically simple like that. And so basically that's all the functionalities. And one more thing I think I need to show you. Basically in the spreadsheet here, the database here is for all the questions and answers, all the information about them. So we have an index here for the question, and we also have the question, the title, the description of the question, and the options of answers, and the score for this question, and also which answer should be the correct answer. You can check them here. So this we're going to for this correct column, this data we are going to use to compare the final select of the end users. So if they match the select, as you can see here for question 18, let's try to check question 18. The correct answers are A and B. So if we select both of them, so this is answered correctly. So, and we have this green bar here. And for the others which are not correct, we have this red bar here. Okay, so you can add more questions to this database, and you also need to change this demo questions and answers. You need to do the modification here. And here we can do some configuration for this quiz sheet application. Here we have a function here to do the configuration. We're going to open this sidebar for the configuration here. In this configuration, we have two options. The first is the quiz count. So basically, it's how many questions you'd like to show for this quiz. So for this one, I'll have 10 questions. So I put 10 here. So here is the timer for this. This is a quiz time. You can select. You can do in this configuration here. So for the test purpose, I'll put 1 minute here, and you can change it. Basically, you can pick 1 to 100. 120, so you can pick like 30 minutes, and for this count you can say let's try to do 15 and save it. So once you save it, you should I think you need to refresh this page. Okay, let's try to refresh this page. Let's try to do a test here. Test 3. Okay, now we get 15 questions, and we have a timer as 30 minutes. Okay, all the questions are here, so you get a 15 questions here for this quiz sheet. So basically, you can do the configuration very easily in the spreadsheet. Okay, so this is where I can do the configuration. So I think that's it for that's all the functionality in this project. And so if you're a teacher, or if you're playing a teacher's role in your company, so you may need something like this. This could be a very useful tool for you. And to use this tool, so if you think this is a very good tool for you to use, you only need to make a copy of this file, which I'm going to share with you. You can make a copy of this file, even it's a read-only file. You can make a copy of it, and the script will also be copied to the new file. Okay, so let me rename it. Just make a copy of this file and rename it for YouTube. Okay, and save it. And we can close this. All right. Now we get this new file. So once you have this copy to your Google Drive, you need to go to Tools, Script Editor. And you need to publish this script, a script project. So you need to publish and deploy as web application. And you can choose, you can do the configuration for this web application as you like. So I just keep all the settings to update. All right, so for the authorization, you need to review the authorization for this web application. Choose your Google account. Okay, let's do. All right, just approve it. Okay, now you get this URL for the web application. Okay, now you have this web app, and you should be able to use it. Let's try to run some tests and remove all this data. So let's try to do a test here, test@gmail.com, and start a quiz. I need to refresh since I loaded the web application before I removed this data. So after I refresh this page, I should be able to enter this test gmail.com here and start the quiz here. By default, the settings, the configurations is 10 questions and in 30 minutes. So if you go to the app configuration, so try to load this. So this is default settings. So if this is not the default settings for your project, you need to modify here. You need to do some modification here. Okay, so let's try to select some answers for these questions and try to complete. Okay, 10 questions and we are done. So we need to click this end quiz. All right, so we got 18 points. All right, this is wrong. This is wrong. 2 wrong answers for the question, and you should be able to get the result here, and you will be able to use it. All right, so for this project, we are using the W3 CSS library here. If you are trying to change the theme here, like here is a green theme for this application, you can change it very easily here. So in this index.html file, you can change the theme to maybe yellow. Let's save it and try to refresh. Okay, now you get a yellow test yellow. Yeah, you get a different theme. All right, so let's change it back to green. So there's a very quick change for this application. Okay, so basically that's all for the users. You want to make a copy of this file, make a copy of this project for your real project. And if you are interested in the code, you can study my code here. So basically, the similar file structure here, like the past project I built with Vue.js. Okay. So in this code.js file, I have all the Google app script in this file. So basically, the code here is to communicate the data from your front end of application to the back end. The back end actually your Google spreadsheet. Okay, so all the code to do the communication between the front end and the back end, all the code out here, like to collect the questions and get the emails from the result sheet, get the questions from the database, and get data. So basically, in this get data function is going to collect that data object with the questions, emails, and the configuration. So this configuration is in this configuration we have the count for your how many questions for your web application and how many time for this quiz. Okay, so all the data we are going to use for this web application, we collect them in this function. Okay, so this do-get function is just to build the web application. It's not the build; it's a must-have function to publish this project as a web application. Okay, so once you have this function in this file, you can publish this project as a web application. It's going to return HTML. So it's going to return HTML output. So then you can see the web application. And this is a function to load the configuration, and function to save the configuration. So this is only for the sidebar. As you can see here, we have a sidebar here. Okay, so this function save data is only save the result from the quiz to the spreadsheet. Okay, save the result here. And this is show the sidebar, function to show the sidebar for the configuration. And this is a function to open the quiz app. All right, the last one is going to build the menu. So this app menu with two functions. All right, so you can click this link to open the web app, and another one to do the configuration. All right. So basically, this is all the code for this code.js file or the Google Apps script. Now let's go to the sidebar. So for this sidebar, it's only built to do the configuration for your app. So if you click the sidebar here, click the configuration. So I'm going to show you a sidebar like this. And we have an input, second input, and we have a button, and I have a message like this. If you go to the sidebar.html, all right, the styles from the W3 CSS library, and we also have the customized CSS. So basically, this is a view. This is built with Vue.js. So we only have a div with ID app in this body section, and we have a form here with a input and another input for the time. The first one is for the count, and the last one is the input, the submit button for this form, and the last is the p tag for the message. So all the elements for this sidebar are put in this div. All right, so this is a script for the Vue.js instance. So the data, as you can see here, the title, so message. Okay, the method we're using. All right. So basically like that. So this is the sidebar, and very similar for this index.html. So this is the file to build the web application. Just the structure is exactly the same as this sidebar, but the sidebar is much more simpler. And this index.html file here, we are building the header. We have the main section for all these questions and answers, and we also have the footer. We also have some message box and the loading page. This is not the loading page, is the submitting page. So once you click the end quiz button, it's going to show you this loading. All right, so all the script are in this JS file. So we have function to do the random select. So random select the item from the array, and we also have the format time function for the timer. And all the data we're using in this Vue.js project, we have message, So all this configuration are here, and we have this timer here. Also, the method we're using the method to start the quiz, and also we have function to end the quiz, and the last one is close the message box. Alright, so basically that's it. All the code are here. So if you're interested in the details for this project, and if you found any problems or questions about this project, you can leave a comment below my video. And so this is the last video of this year. So I'll see you maybe next year. And Happy New Year to all of you. And bye-bye.